So pretty much, just going to jump right into it. We're going to talk about our first thing on the docket today. We're going to be talking about some Spider-Man news with Spider-Man coming back to the MCU. There was this whole mishap with Sony and Marvel going on where Sony decided to give Marvel this deal. It's like, listen, we want to keep Spider-Man in the MCU. That's what we want to do. But now we just want to, make a new deal with you. Marvel came around and said, okay, fine. We're going to split it 50-50. And then Sony backed off and said, nope, we are not doing that. That's not going to happen. And then they split apart, almost like a horrible mom and dad divorce. And it's just like, you don't know whose side to choose. More or less, everybody blamed Sony first and foremost, and I can understand why to a certain extent, because everybody here these days has like this whole thing with Marvel where they can't do no wrong, more or less. So it's just like one of those things where they looked at Sony as the villain in this whole situation, when really it was Marvel's part. They were like, no, we want the 50%. This was our deal. This is what we wanted to do. And then Sony was like, no, like, listen, we own the film rights to Spider-Man. We understand that you guys want to have more profitability when you make these movies with us, but we don't want to do that. And Sony was just like, we're not going to have this deal go on, so we're just going to split our ways. We're going to go do the whole Spider-Man Sony universe, and then you guys will, just going to have to live on with the MCU without Spider-Man. So everybody was upset. I was upset when I heard about the news, but overall I was just like, whatever. We got the Endgame with Spider-Man, and then we had Spider-Man Far From Home, which was an amazing movie, and it finished off the phase 3 of Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I wasn't too upset when I heard the news that Sony was splitting apart from Marvel. I was like, listen, we got what we wanted. Anything more than what we got is pretty much just a bonus, you know what I mean? So besides that, I think we're fine, or at least I felt fine in the moment. But now news just came out that Tom Holland got Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, and the CEO of Sony. I'm pretty sure that I'm right about that. They just got them together. I was like, listen, we gotta strike a deal somewhere here. Let's just get you guys to talk it out, and then boom, Spider-Man's back in the MCU, and all this stuff about him returning and Tom Holland being the one to convince them to do it. I think that's awesome. Like I said, I wasn't too worried about it. When I heard the news that happened, I was just like, you know what? I'm not surprised, honestly. At this point, I was just like, wherever Spider-Man goes, I just hope we get good movies out of it. Spider-Man doesn't have to be in the MCU for me to be happy. I was very excited when we heard the news about Spider-Man being in the MCU back when Civil War was being made. So that got me very excited. Obviously, I wanted Spider-Man in the MCU then, and so we got it. We got a lot of Spider-Man with Iron Man, Captain America, and the Avengers, Endgame, and Infinity War. So it's just like, we got our plate, we ate it, and it's just, yeah. So I'm satisfied with what we got with Spider-Man. So like I said, anything after that would have been great, more bonus stuff for us. But so he's back, awesome. I think that's the right move. I heard that it's just one movie deal so far right now. It's just Spider-Man 3 to end off his trilogy, and I don't know if they're gonna go anywhere beyond that. I think they will. I think we'll get more Spider-Man beyond the third Spider-Man movie in the MCU. I think we will. But on the other hand, though, if they don't, I won't be upset either. Because let's put it this way. Let me picture a scenario for you. I loved Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I thought that was an amazing, no pun intended, amazing Spider-Man movie. I thought it was a great film. Miles Morales, I wasn't a big fan of Miles Morales until, I knew about the character. I thought he was an all right character or whatever. But once that movie came out, I was all on board with Miles Morales. And I was like, dude, this is awesome. And that movie was probably, honestly, I will make an argument, it was the best not just the best Spider-Man movie of that year. I mean, I think it was the only Spider-Man movie that year, but it was the best superhero comic book movie of that year when it came out. So I think it was last year of 2018. So that movie was great. If we could get a live action version of that with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland all in the same movie as this whole Spider-Verse thing, and you can even add Venom in there with Tom Hardy's Venom. I think that would be really cool if you can do that as well. I would still rather see Tom Holland's Spider-Man get the black suit first and then move on to getting Venom incorporated somehow. I would prefer that because I'm more of the comic book type Spider-Man deal with it when it comes to Venom. I was okay when I heard that they're just adding Venom and how Venom became Venom and the Venom movie. I was like, whatever. Like I said, I would rather prefer them do the original way how, Eddie became Venom and all stuff like that. So it's whatever. But like I said, I think if Spider-Man doesn't become a part of the MCU anymore, that I think that we're going to go that direction. And I really hope we do. Hell, that could even happen in the MCU. So either way, I just want my Spider-Man universe, like Into the Spider-Verse live action version. I just want that. I think it would be amazing. So besides that, I think it's pretty cool that we're getting more Spider-Man in the MCU. Like I said, I wasn't too surprised, but we're going to move on here.